Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead, A New Frontier, or Season 3, depending how you call it. And we're talking about the first episode, Ties That Bind, Part 1. That's a mouthful.
Yes. And I don't even know if I'd call it... I mean, technically it's Season 3, but, like, it's almost like a sub-Season 2.
Yeah.
Just kind of weird. Because, yeah, whatever. Well, I don't want to spoil anything. But, cool. Description here is, when family is all you have left, how far will you go to protect it? After society was ripped apart by undead hands, pockets of civilization emerged from the chaos, but at what cost? Can the living be trusted on this new frontier? As Javier, a young man determined to find the family taken from him, you meet a young girl who has experienced her own unimaginable loss. Her name is Clementine, and your fates are bound together in a story where every choice you make could be your last.
Cool. Background on this game: this is developed by Telltale Games. We, of course, know and love them. They did all the other seasons of The Walking Dead. They did The Wolf Among Us. They've got a bunch of other games, but all of those are in our backlog. So if you want more Walking Dead, we've got 1 and 2, and we also have Season 4 done. We did Season 4 when it had come out live, and then 1 and 2 we'd played before, but had done again. And so with that in mind, we aren't going to spoil forward on anything when we do this. So if you've never played this season, you don't have to worry about us spoiling forward. We'll talk about things that happened in Season 1 and 2 since they did occur chronologically before, but we won't talk about Season 4 or things ahead in this season or anything like that. So you can be safe there for that, just so you know. Although I will break that rule immediately, briefly, because I think this is really important in terms of framing this season. Which, this small spoiler is that this season essentially fits as like a reboot, and that you only play as Clementine for maybe 5% of the game. And this was something that, for us, we'd played this when it had come out, and the way they hyped it up was kind of shitty and not good. I think it messed up your expectations because it was like, it's a completely new thing with new characters, but also an old thing with old characters.
Yeah.
Clem and Javi, and this is really cool. And you're like, all right, is it like half and half? And what I remember from back then playing was just wishing I was Clementine a lot.
Yep.
And being kind of disappointed with what we got. And so I don't actually remember much of this season. Actually, this is definitely my weakest knowledge or remembering from it. So a lot of this will probably feel new to me.
Same.
But I think that knowing that is going to make this more enjoyable than it was the first time for me, because I think the whole time I was just like, okay, when are we going to be Clem though? When's Clem coming? And I think instead this will probably help it be cool. We'll get to enjoy Javi's story for what it is. We'll get to enjoy the, Walking Dead world more, that kind of stuff. So anyway, that was a little spoiler, but I think that knowing that could really affect how you experience the game and how you would enjoy it. And I wish I knew that. Like, if they would have just said that out of the gate, I think I probably would have liked it more the first time.
Yep, I think I agree. Yeah, because we played this together, I think, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago. And I remember both of us kind of being like, all right, next episode we're playing as Clem, probably. Yeah. Doesn't really happen a whole lot.
Right, yeah. When you do, it's like for part of a scene in an act. Like, it's not anything crazy. So, yeah, I think that expectation really helps, though. So, all that to say, though, we'll jump into our recap as we do and kind of go through what's here. So, our episode begins just prior to the zombie outbreak, actually. And we find out that Javi gets a call from his brother David saying that their dad is dying and he needs to get there so he can say goodbye. And Javi, you pick up with Javi and he runs up to the door of the house. David's outside on the porch drinking and pissed.
Yeah. And
Javi's late. And he says, I swear I wasn't being irresponsible. The highways are packed. I had to just ditch my car and I ran here. Like, and David's just like, fuck you. You're too late.
Which, I mean, David seems like a hothead, but it seems like there's some backstory here with Javi just kind of being absent, not present, late. But in his defense, he did literally leave his car on the highway and run. Like, that's some commitment. And
the apocalypse is
the reason. They don't know that yet.
They don't know that, but that certainly has to do with this. But Javi, unfortunately, is too late. Their dad's already died, and so David's going in, giving him a pretty hard time, kind of like, you fucked this up like you fucked everything up.
Doesn't he punch him? I think he hits him here too.
Yeah, he ends up hitting him at one point and wants Javi to fight him. And at least me as Javi, I didn't fight back.
Yeah, it's like, you're just sad our dad's dead. Like, not going to make this worse.
Right. And David feels like, this sucks. Like, this is shitty. You're an asshole. Blah, blah, blah. I have to do everything. And Javi kind of pushes back. And he doesn't, like, fight. But he's like, this is hard for me, too. It's not like you're the only sad person here.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But inside, I think Gabe, one of David's kids, like, peeks out as this is happening. And the family realizes Javi's there, and they all, like, bring him in. And are like, Javi, oh, we're so happy you're here. And you're like, okay, Javi's kind of the favorite in the family.
Yeah.
And has been kind of a fuck up. And so David is, I think, understandably pissed in some ways of, like, I'm the older brother who does all of the right things. You're a shithead and everyone still likes you more. Mm-hmm. Even when you blew it and you didn't make it in time to see our dad die. Like, kind of wild stuff. But inside, you've got Javi's mother. You have Uncle Hector there. You have Kate, who is David's wife. And then Gabe and Mariana, who are David's kids, but Kate's not their mom.
Yeah, stepmom.
Yeah, stepmom. And I think I don't think they tell us, but I think David's wife had died. Like, she's not in the picture before Kate.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And while they're just kind of grieving and talking, Mariana goes and gets water for Grandpa and says that he's awake. And they're like, what? And us being...
Yeah, like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, and then, us knowing Walking Dead, we're like, oh shit, it's going down.
Uh-huh.
And so the group follows Mariana, and they're like, what? And he's a walker. Of course, it's the beginning of the apocalypse. No one knows about this. Mm-hmm. And so they, like, try to restrain him. They, like, move him, like, push him on the bed once he, like, starts to seem aggressive. And they're like, Dad, what's up? Mm-hmm. And he's a zombie. And in this, he ends up biting Javi's mom. Javi puts his dad down. His dead dad down.
For good this time.
For good this time. He, like, breaks off part of the bedpost and
bash him with it.
Bashes him with
Pretty brutal.
Yeah, super brutal.
Unfortunate.
To go planning to grieve your dad to having to put down his zombie, and you don't know what zombies are.
Yep.
Fucked up.
Yeah, I think at one point, Javi's mother, I forget her name. Whatever.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. She's like, oh, he's just confused, like, give him some space, whatever. I'm like, no, he's trying to fucking eat you.
Right.
Which they didn't know yet.
They didn't know yet, and then he does bite her.
I feel like, though, after watching, if I was in a situation, I'd be like, no, that's a motherfucking zombie. Like, I just would know. Or at least assume. And I would...
Yeah, I feel like the world for Walking Dead to work, or maybe zombie things, is that zombies can't exist in their culture. Mm-hmm. Like, we are culturally, like...
Yeah, like, that's a zombie.
Yeah, even if I didn't watch Walking Dead or any of those things, I think culturally, you just know, like, that's a zombie.
Yeah, the guy was dead, now he's not, and he's, like, looking kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's a zombie.
Yeah, I feel like...
Or a walker, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like culturally we'd have it, but I wonder if for their world or in zombie films, for it to work, it's like, people are like, what are they?
Yeah. Or I guess in the off chance he really is not a zombie and just back from the dead somehow. Like, oh, I wouldn't want to assume that he's a zombie should kill him again.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be the biggest bummer of all time.
No, right, yeah. If there's some sort of weird sickness thing and you're like, oh, I killed him because I thought I was supposed to.
Uh-huh.
And then you weren't supposed to.
Yeah, he's like, no, he was actually just fine.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's a harsh learning experience.
Yep.
Yeah. But, so, of course, after this travesty, family needs to get this figured out. So David takes his mom in the car to go to the hospital since she was bit. It's like, all right, we got to get her medical attention. Meanwhile, Javi, Kate, Gabe, and Mariana go in the van separately with the uncles in there. Uncle Hector's in there too. Mm-hmm. And they will meet them at the hospital. And then you have Javi look back in the rearview mirror and you see Uncle Hector cover like a scratch mark on his arm or a bite. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, dun, dun, dun.
Fuck, that's not good.
Yeah, not good. Then we get a flash forward 4 years later. It's the present day. And Javi and Kate are watching a herd in the distance. You can see a campfire kind of farther away with, I think, a balloon or something. I think there's something there to kind of bring the walkers there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they're trying to track them to kind of figure out, okay, how long does it take a herd to get from a place so that we kind of know how quick we've got to move. Because what you find is that they've essentially just been in the van for 4 years, holding up where they can for however long they can, and then moving on once it's going to get bad.
Which sounds crazy.
Yeah.
4 years of that? That'd be nuts.
Yeah, that sounds bad. And just that you're like, yeah, it sounds horrible.
Yeah, really rough.
Yeah, to just have to try to do that. Gabe and Mariana are sleeping in the back of the van, and as they're driving away, Kate lights up a joint.
Fool.
Yeah, and is like, do you want to smoke? And you're like, no. Or I didn't.
I didn't either. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, we're in the zombie apocalypse. Like, maybe if we were somewhere safe, but not when we're driving.
Yeah.
It just seems stupid.
Yeah, it seems kind of extra
Yeah.
irresponsible. And I think even with, like, the kids, too. Like, not that it wouldn't still be irresponsible if it was just Kate and Javi, but I think it's maybe extra just with the kids. It's like, okay, you don't always have to focus on the zombies. Like, you can have fun or something. Like, no. Like, if you're living out of your car like this, I don't think you get that.
Yep. There's no fun.
Yeah, I think that probably fun is that you got to sleep for longer, or
You didn't get bitten.
yeah, you did get bitten, or
Yeah.
like, I don't know, you found candy or something.
Yeah.
Like,
That's about it.
yeah, that's about it. But also, while you're talking to Kate, she expresses kind of challenges with this. Is like, they just start, that Gabe's been pretty moody, and that they're pretty in the "you're not my mom" kind of attitude, which seems to be more Gabe than Mariana. But Gabe is probably like, I don't know, 14.
Yeah, and Mariana's younger.
Yeah, she's probably like 10 or 12,
Yeah.
something like that.
Probably 10.
Yeah, a little bit younger, but there's a lot of like kind of fight there of like, Javi and Kate have had to be their parents, and I think Gabe has just been on the, well, you're not my mom, I don't want to listen to you,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And even for Kate, I think she has some recognition too of like, I'm not built to be a mom. Like, I was just doing whatever the fuck I wanted before the apocalypse, and it seemed like that worked for me and David
Yeah.
before or whatever, like. So she doesn't feel, I don't think she feels like she's mom material either, and is kind of put in that situation.
Yeah.
Maybe more than she wants.
And in the zombie apocalypse.
And in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
I think also Kate kind of flirts with you here, and you can choose not to, or yes.
Yeah.
Which I did know, because I was like,
Yeah. Like, bro, this is,
yeah.
well.
Again,
yeah.
not the time.
Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, you're my brother's wife.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at this point it's been 4 years since you've seen him, so you can presume he's dead, but still, like, it feels a little weird.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's a,
Especially with the kids in the car. It just seems all weird.
yeah, it just all seems like you'd be short-sighted doing smoking weed or trying to date Kate or any of that.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be just really unwise. But after driving a little bit, though, our group arrives at the junkyard. And so the four of them get out to look for supplies. And they seem to have this sort of down as, like, what they always do. That they arrive somewhere, they all kind of split up, look for different stuff. Javi's trying to siphon gas, so junkyard, good spot for that. A lot of cars to potentially search in. You go around looking for gas, among other things. And in the middle of the junkyard, you end up finding a little office that has some food and some space to sleep. There's like a cabin and stuff, or not a cabin, but like a cot or two. And the kids are pretty psyched about this. They're like, oh my gosh, we could sleep not in the van. Can we stay here for one night? And Kate's more on the, well, a herd's going to come, so we really probably shouldn't be here. And the kids are more like, well, we know they won't be here yet. Like, we'll get out just in time or early enough, it will be fine. And so, as in typical game fashion, you have your first decision.
Yep, gotta choose.
Are you going to stay in the junkyard that night or not? So, what did you do?
I did. Because there was like a fence around it and shit. Like, it wasn't like they could just walk in and eat you. You know, they would have had to get through the fence, open the door to the, I feel like you were just as safe there as you were in the van. And, you know, there's food, and kids have been out on the road for 4 years. Give them a break.
That was my kind of thought flow too, of just that, like, if this is a thing that's good and like we can be excited about it and it doesn't seem that risky, sure, let's do it. Also, there was some suspectness of like there's food and stuff here, so is this someone's spot?
Yeah.
But it wasn't so fresh that it was clear someone was here, but it wasn't so old that they're definitely gone.
Yeah, that was more my concern, as opposed to the walkers. More is like, is someone going to show up here and try to kill us? Right,
yeah. Or did we steal their house? Kind of thing. By mistake, of sorts. But we chose to stay. And this decision actually is pretty divided. 55% of people chose to stay like we did. 45% of people choose to head back out on the road. And Daniel on Twitter wrote in and said, I think I chose to stay like we did. So I suspect that if you choose to head back out on the road, I guess the same thing happens either way here.
Yep.
Because you don't have to wait that long for it. So what happens from here is we're like, okay, cool. This works great. We'll stay here. Or I guess we won't, and we start heading back. But Javi goes to get the gas tank that's filling up, because before this, he'd finally found like a van that had a lot of gas in it. And
I think it was a ambulance.
Yeah, there we go. And so the gas was just flowing in. Like, he got the siphon going, and then it was just pouring it all into his can. So he went to go grab that and was going to head back. And when he got to the gas tank, some bandits show up.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, shit. And they are like, oh, are you alone? Or are you with a group? And he's like, no, I'm alone. So Javi's trying to, of course, save his family. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, you're not alone. I could tell, like, for this or that reason. All right, let's go back to the office. That's probably where they are. You're going to show me them, and we're going to figure this out, because you were trying to steal from us.
I didn't know it was your shit.
Right, so not great. And Javi goes back into the office, but he notices his family's gone.
Smart.
They've snuck out through a hatch in the floor that's almost like a trapdoor looking thing.
Yeah, that goes like underneath the office. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a trailer, I guess. The office is like a trailer.
Yeah.
It's not on the ground. It's slightly raised.
Yeah, slightly raised. Yeah. So they went down under there, and some of the bandits leave. One of them stays with you to watch you, and they're like he's trying to question you a little bit, but then he hears a noise from the hatch, and he goes to go for it. You try to intervene, but then get knocked out. Mm-hmm. So not good. After this, Javi wakes up inside of a truck. He's getting taken by the bandit, maybe to their base. It was a little unclear.
Yep.
Since Javi was the only one there, it seems like his family was not caught when he got knocked out. Mm-hmm. And so you're kind of like, all right, we'll kind of see. As you're driving along, a tree falls out in front of the road, and the truck crashes. It ends up flipping over. It doesn't hit it. It like skids and flips.
Yep. And
when it flips over, Javi gets out, and then the bandit gets out, and the bandit's running away, and Javi has a gun
he gets the bandit's gun.
Yeah, when the kind of crash had happened. Mm-hmm. He sees the bandit running away in the distance, and you can choose to either shoot them or not shoot them, which I think is actually a pretty good decision here. For me, I chose to shoot him while he was running away.
Yep. Why'd you do that?
I did it because I felt like they're just bad, so I don't feel like they showed any goodness in them. It's not like a situation where you're not sure if they're bad or good. Like, they've played their cards and are bad guys.
Yep.
And so, to me, I was like, well, I'm just going to kill him because, I don't know, him being around can only be negative for me.
Yep. It's fair.
So, that's why I shot him.
That's fair. I also shot him.
Okay.
So, wasn't judging you. I felt bad because, he's running away. You're shooting him in the back. It's, like, kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, 4 years in the zombie apocalypse, people like this are already doing crazy shit. They're probably going to... I assume they'd probably, like, rape Kate or... like, they're clearly really bad.
Right.
It's like... If they're not... Well, one, if he runs away and gets back with his crew, he could say, hey, he survived. Like, go back there. Mm-hmm. Or two, if he doesn't come back for us, they'll just do this to someone else. So might as well just... One less bad guy is always good.
Yeah. That was basically my thought of... They haven't shown that there's, like, a misunderstanding or something like that. Like, they just... clearly seem bad. They hadn't killed you yet, but it didn't seem like they would be against that necessarily.
I mean, at best, I feel like they were taking you back to some base to be like a slave or something, like
Right.
some worker. Like,
Yeah, that was sort of the vibe I had. So I was like, well, I'll do this, even though shooting people in the back does kind of suck. But 48% of people followed us. They did the same thing. 52% of people let the driver go, so they just let them run off. So I think, again, this would show being a good decision, or a good choice option. I feel like when Telltale's choices are good, they're like 60-40 or 50-50. Like,
yep.
that's the sign I think of a tough choice.
Yep.
So pretty good there.
Very close.
Yep. After you shoot the driver, you're snuck up on by Clementine, who's older than last we've seen her. Now she's probably about Gabe's age, maybe around 14.
14, 15. Yep.
Yeah. And she's like, wow, you shot a guy running away. And you're like, well, I kind of had to.
Yeah.
And Javi mentions that he's trying to get back to his family. And Clementine's like, not my problem. And she was like, I was trying to get this truck, but I didn't think he'd crash it and ruin it.
Yeah.
And
Oops.
you're like, okay. And you're like, well, how about this? Back where we are, where my family is, I have a van. You can have the van if we can rescue them. After we rescue them. And Clementine says, okay, deal. That seems fair. That'll get me the ride I need. That'll get you with your family. We can be together. And as you're walking, Javi's trying to be friendly and kind of, I don't know, build rapport, I guess. But Clementine is definitely not as interested.
Yeah.
I think Clementine at this point has kind of seen that people can be bad, maybe, or they're not helpful, or I don't know, something like that. So she's not quick to be friends. Like, even in this conversation, I think she says, even after we do this, we're not friends. We're just working together, or something like that.
Yeah, which I think was a little, I don't know if shocking, but it felt a little out of character playing this again. Because, like, back playing in season 2, Clementine's a little girl and she's like really trusting and is she's a kid. So it was weird that, 4 years or at least 4 years gone by.
Yeah.
For that, or around 4 years maybe.
Right.
So, like, of course she would have grown up, but she seemed a little mean.
Yeah.
But she is helping, so I guess.
Yeah, I think she's still helping, but she seems more like pragmatic or something, as opposed to, before finding groups and wanting to be in with them.
Yeah.
I think now she's, which in the previous games we met lots of bad people too. So I imagine that plus however many bad people she's met between then and now.
Fair point.
I suspect she's like, just less.
Yep.
Interested. But from here, on the way back to the junkyard, you run to the herd from earlier. And so the group has to take a detour, and they run to a friendly town that Clementine knows about that's called Prescott. And outside of the walls, Tripp, he's the leader of the town, but he's up on the guard tower, and he's shooting down, trying to clear out the walkers, but he says, you guys need to kill these walkers before I can let you in. I can't open the door and
let all the walkers in, yeah.
Let the walkers in. So you and Clementine kill all the walkers down there with Tripp shooting from above as well. And while you're doing this, there's a point where Clementine's gun jams, but then you end up like saving her because she shoots and her gun's like faulty. It's faulty bullets.
Yeah, it's like blank essentially.
Yeah, so it like goes and nothing happens. She's like, and then you like save her by getting rid of the zombie in question. So, but you do clear the walkers and they let you inside. And inside of Prescott, Clementine and Javi head to a bar. Clementine says, I need to go talk to someone. It's funny. She's like, Javi's like, what do I do? And she's like, I don't know, mingle. What do you do at a bar?
Yeah,
Javi's like, okay.
It's been 4 years, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But Javi's like, okay, cool. And so Javi goes and talks to Conrad and Francine, who are at the bar playing poker. Conrad, I think, is the bartender. And
Francine's his wife.
Okay.
I think. It doesn't really matter that much, but.
But she's sitting at the bar and he's behind the counter, right?
Yeah.
He's working. And they're playing poker and they ask your advice. But while they're talking, Conrad recognizes Javi and says, oh, I remember you. You were going to be great. Javi Javi had played pro baseball, but had gotten a lifetime ban for gambling on the games.
The old Pete Rose of the Walking Dead universe.
Right, yeah. Pete Rose of The Walking Dead is Javi, which is cool.
Yeah.
I
cool
thought
background.
Cool background. And made me remember like him killing his dad with the post. I was like, all right, we're gonna have to baseball bat some stuff.
Yeah, we got to get a baseball bat. 'Cause, I mean, it's cool to play as like someone like Javi, because like, you know, dude, professional athletes are probably pretty capable, I assume.
Right.
So it's cool you get to be someone who's like that.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool change, or cool like backstory to learn. So I like that. After you talk there, though, you hear Clementine confronting the person she was talking to, which turns out to be the guy that sold her the bad bullets. And she's yelling at him, saying, "Give me my money. You almost got me killed." Like, she's pissed.
Fair.
And understandably so. And the guy's pretty in the, like, "Oh, well, you bought it. It's not my fault. Whatever happens after I sell it's not my problem," kind of thing. And Clementine points the gun at him and shoots a blank at him, and it's a blank. And he's like, "Stop," like, you know, that kind of thing. And she's like, "No, give me what I want." And she attempts to continue to threaten him, and she pulls the trigger again, and the gun goes off and shoots him in the head, and he's dead.
Like, oops.
Yeah, which is a big oops.
Yeah.
Accidentally kills the guy. Not thinking that there were bullets in there.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That worked.
Yeah, she was
trying
two in a row. They were fucking not real bullets, so.
Yeah, so she figured she was just threatening him with his shitty product and kind of proving a point too.
Yep.
But it didn't go that way.
Backfired.
Kills the guy. And so from here, you know, the people in the bar are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, obviously they heard the gunshot.
They heard the gunshot. Trip comes and is pissed. And they ask you what happened. And you can either throw Clementine under the bus here and be like, "She just shot a dude." Or you can say, "It was an accident. There was a misfire, you know, whatever." So what did you do here?
I did the misfire thing. I guess I'm kind of biased. I like Clementine a lot.
Yeah.
But she's also been pretty helpful. So definitely didn't feel like it would be within my character playing as Javi to just be like, "Yeah, fucking knows all her." So I guess backed her up and told the truth, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
So
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And backed Clementine up. I think, again, you know, since we know Clementine, I think it would be hard to choose any decisions that go against Clementine, because I already like her.
Yeah.
So sorry, any other character I meet, like,
you're fucked.
Clementine comes first, which I think will probably be a challenge in this game in some ways. But
yeah.
And I think the way Javi would be, I don't think Javi
He doesn't seem like a liar
or throw people under the bus kind of guy. So having Clem's back here, what this results in is you get thrown in jail for the night. Kind of a, well, we got to sort this out. You know, it's not that we don't believe you, but we got to throw you in jail for a minute. And so 94% of people get locked up for this. Only 6% are allowed to roam free. And I guess how that happens.
You have to throw under the bus, I assume, right?
If you throw her under the bus, but then I don't think either of you go to jail for some reason.
That seems like it should be the opposite.
Yeah, I don't know why telling the truth would go that way, but I think that's what happens, which is bizarre. But either way, in jail, it goes well with Clementine. Clementine feels your loyalty by not throwing under the bus, and so she's definitely warmed up to you a bit. And I think kind of you got to show that you're not some jerk or whatever, basically, of that, like, you know, we could be friends potentially, kind of thing. Like, we don't have to I don't know, be antagonistic or something. But while you're in jail, Trip comes to you and he says, "I can take you to the junkyard tomorrow. It's night. Walkers are more active at night, so we gotta wait till then."
Which is super nice of him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you just met this guy. He also just was involved in one of your guys getting killed. Like, pretty cool town.
Yeah. I feel like good town. He seems like a good guy. He also sends Eleanor in to treat Javi's injury because the dude had punched you before Clementine had shot him. Mm-hmm. So your face was a little messed up.
Yeah.
And so Eleanor comes in and treats Javi's injury, flirts with him a bit, and then also says, I could sneak you out tonight to get back there if you want to get back sooner.
Yeah.
And this kind of brings you to your next decision. Do you want to go now in the night with Eleanor, or will you wait till the next morning to go with Trip?
Yeah, so I went with Trip. It just didn't make sense. Like, all right, we're kind of in the doghouse here a little bit, but they were nice enough to, like, this dude Trip was nice enough to take us. He seems capable. Like, I'm gonna stick with him during the daytime too, where I can see things, as opposed to this lady who she just seemed not sketchy per se, but like, if you're willing to break the rules like this, I don't know if I really want to get down with that. I'm already in jail. Like, let's just chill.
Yeah, that's more or less how I felt too. Of like, I didn't feel the urgency to have to leave right now. Like, I didn't feel like my family's definitely in danger at this exact moment, so I have to leave right now. Instead, it was like, well, I can probably do them just as good now or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and
have a ride tomorrow. Like,
yeah, and having Trip, I'd rather have him with me. Like, it seems like it'd be better to have him in the day than Eleanor at night, even though it's a little bit longer. Having to wait. Right.
Yeah, because it seemed like you'd be on foot, versus he'd have a car
and he can shoot.
Yeah, and that he's seems to be a capable shooter and all that stuff, and she might be, but like.
Don't know.
We don't know. We know more that she's the doctor, so it could make sense if she's not the best at shooting. It could go either way. But, yeah. So, I felt like waiting would be best for sure. It also seems like, if they're cool, like, you could maybe come back here.
Yeah. It's a good point, too.
Why would you skip early to maybe have coming back here be less good?
Yeah, why would you not get your family and then just come live here? Like, what you should do.
It seems like you could ask Trip, hey, could you just take us back and then we'll stay in Prescott for a little bit and figure things out, and he'd probably say yes.
Yeah, or we'll just make this our spot and contribute.
Yeah, either one seems reasonable.
Yep. But yeah, I think you're right. Breaking out of jail early would not look good, at the very least.
Yeah. Harry on Twitter wrote in and said, I haven't played the sequels in a long time, but I think I went with Trip here, which,
smart.
Makes sense.
Oh, sorry, and also 49% of players went with Trip and 51% went with Eleanor.
Yep.
So, again, good decision, very divided. Great.
Yeah, definitely. So from here, you head to the junkyard, and during this, you get a Clementine flashback. And for us, our flashback is of Wallington
has a wall.
Wellington falling. There we go. So at the end of season 2 for us, we had Clementine go into Wellington with AJ, no Kenny. Kenny left. And so we go into Wellington, and inside we can tell Wellington's going down. I forget her name, but she was the front wall lady.
Yeah.
She comes in and says, pack your things, we've got to go. And so you try to grab several of your things, and then you take AJ and run, and she's following behind you, and you're trying to escape the town. She gets killed behind you, and you just run off into the woods with AJ.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, because that town seemed really secure. It's kind of crazy it got brought down by bandits.
Yeah, it's bad, and you like sense the chaos when it's happening. Like,
it's
there's
bad.
fire everywhere, you hear people screaming, like, it's bad. Alternatively, you can actually, there are other endings here. I would say that
worse.
They're all worse. I would
Yes.
say that we chose the best ending for how it ended last time.
Yeah, I feel like they really punish you here. If you don't choose to stay in Wellington, they really punish you.
Yeah, they do. So the other endings, which I will say suck, are one is if you decided to not go into Wellington, but you stay with Kenny. And you pick up with Kenny trying to teach Clementine how to drive. And while this is happening, there ends up being a spot where Clementine like slams on her brakes because something's in the road. and Kenny's not wearing his seatbelt, so he goes through the car windshield and breaks his spine. And then
brutal.
And then a bunch of walkers come and eat him, and Clementine and AJ have to run away.
Yeah, fucking brutal.
Yeah, also, like,
awful.
Shitty that, like, if you're just going to kill him off like that, you should have just, I don't know, not had an option at all.
Good point.
Yeah, it sucks. This is a part where this makes me upset at Walking Dead, for sure, of these bad endings. The next one is if you had stayed with Jane. So if instead you let Jane kill Kenny last season, then you go with Jane and you return to the House store where you were with Carver's people. It's been deserted since the zombies killed everyone there, or they all left or whatever. So you go back and you hold up there and you're surviving with her, and then you end up finding a pregnancy test and a note. I believe that she'd found out that she was pregnant from when she had sex with Luke, and then she hangs herself to not, like,
brutal
be in this. And it's like, I feel like hers makes me especially mad. Like, you killed Kenny to give up like a week later. Like, fuck off.
Yep. Yep. Well, Jane was kind of shitty.
She was kind of shitty anyway, but I feel like this, like, caps that even more.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, you didn't even choose to make a life after this. You just fucking
Yep.
Shitty. And then the other one is Clementine hunting, and I think in this one something in the hunt happens where she hurts herself a little bit.
I didn't watch this on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just watched the other two.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either, actually. I just read about it. But
okay.
I think she hurts herself, because I think from the 4 endings, there are different scars Clementine can have based on the ending that she'll have later on or something. So
fair. That
she has in the present day from these experiences. So those are them. All that to say, I think our ending is the best one. our flashback is the best one because it kind of corresponds best to the things. So, yeah. From here, though, you get back to the present day and you arrive at the junkyard. And the group is searching around, so you've got Clementine and you and Trip. And you first find Mariana. She lets you know, I did exactly what you said, Javi. I hid in the back of a car seat, in the back seat of a car, stayed still, the walkers passed through, it was fine. You know, you're a good dad.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good kid. Yeah.
Basically.
And good job following instructions.
Yeah, and you're like, Mariana, you're awesome. Thank you.
You're the best kid.
Yep. For real.
Yeah.
Then you find Kate and Gabe, and they're in a construction thing. What are those called? A crane?
Yeah, it's a crane. Or it's a
it like digs, right?
Backhoe, I think is maybe what it's called.
Yeah.
It's a big construction thing with a big digger thing and a plow on it.
Yeah, the claw thing.
Yeah.
And they're like climbing up into that as walkers are approaching them and surrounding them. So you and your crew kill all the walkers to save them. You do. And you have sort of a moment of, man, we got all back together, we did it. And the group's talking, and Mariana sees her headphones that she dropped earlier and goes to pick them up, and she turns around and is like, this is great. And then she just gets shot in the head right in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Holy shit, unexpected.
She survives, though.
She does not survive.
She's dead, yeah.
She's very dead. Shot in the head. And, I mean, this is really shocking.
Yeah, fucking, dude, I didn't remember this. I was like, what the fuck? But then I did remember. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this now.
Yeah.
Fucking brutal. Shocking.
Yeah, so she's just down dead. Kate tries to run to her and then gets shot herself and is down. And, I mean, it's a shit show. Bandits are just shooting in.
Fucking chaos.
Yeah, total chaos. And you arrive at your final decision, which is, do you run to Kate and get her so that you can run away with Trip to go back to Prescott? Or do you stay here and fight the bandits so that Trip can take your family back? What did you do here?
I escaped with my family.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt... Part of me was like, fuck these bandits, I want to stay and fight. But then another part of me was like, I think it'd be better if I stayed with Kate and Gabe. Because I trust Trip, but like, just keeping that family together. And I've obviously liked Clementine a lot, but as trying to play as like how I would if I was Javi, I would definitely go with my family here. I wouldn't stay with Clementine.
Okay.
I've only known her for a day, like
Right.
just wouldn't probably do that.
That makes sense.
That was the main thing I think was like family first, Clementine. At this point, still second, even though me playing the game, I'm like pro Clementine. So I think I just wanted to go with fam.
That makes sense.
Yep.
For me, I stayed with Clementine. My main thought being is that I don't know what good I'll be. I'm not the doctor. Like, I don't know that I'm going to really be help out that much. Mm-hmm. If Tripp can just take the family back on his own, maybe me and Clementine can end these bandits. So that was sort of my thought of, if we can kill these bandits, at least they, that kind of thing. If we could kill the bandits, that would be good.
Yeah.
Not just a revenge thing. Not that revenge is good too, I guess. Like that's motivation. That makes sense. But
yeah.
I think just that like I can't help Kate in this. Like it's not like I'm gonna be able to medically help her. Or being there will drastically change the situation. But I can do this.
Can't shoot some guns.
Yeah, but I can kill some bandits. So that was my thought.
That's fair. I was just thinking like, even the perception. So if the family sees you're staying and not going with them, they'd kind of be like, "Why'd you abandon us?" Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I would assume you'd have a chance to explain why, but knowing Walking Dead, they'd still be kind of pissed at you. So.
Yeah, I'm sure either one of these don't. Yeah. They have different consequences.
I'm sure Clem's going to be pissed at me for not staying.
Right. I imagine that she'll feel like you did the wrong thing. Uh-huh. And I imagine that the family will feel like I did the wrong thing.
Probably.
Which is fair. And for this one, Jennifer on Twitter wrote in and said, I stayed and fought, so same thing as me. And that was predominantly more common. 84% of people stayed to fight, and 16% of people left. So that's I'm a little surprised by that.
I'm not as surprised by that. Like, it was actually kind of hard for me to stay, or to not stay. I think just playing the previous two, pro Clementine, and also I really wanted to kill bandits. Yeah. But it just seemed like, in real life, I'd probably go with my family. I assume. So I'm going to try to do that now.
Yeah. That makes sense. I feel like if you left Clementine, I didn't feel like you were abandoning her, though.
Yeah.
Like, the vibe I got was that you were, like... Like, I don't know if she'd leave with you, too, in that.
I don't...
Or if she'd stay and fight by herself.
She probably stays.
Okay, so she maybe just stays and fights.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I can't remember.
I guess we'll find out next episode how it results.
Yeah.
From whether Clementine comes back and is like, I killed them all, and then thanks to you.
Yeah, which I wouldn't be shocked.
No, yeah. If someone can do it, and it's Clementine.
Yep.
I think also in this, your car gets fucked up, right?
Yeah, it gets obliterated.
Right.
Well, Tripp has a car. So.
Right, but the Clementine's car that she would...
Oh, yep. The van's gone. It's done. Yeah.
So she's not getting that.
Nope.
Either way.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's the episode. As we mentioned, the episode title was Ties That Bind Part 1. So there's actually Part 2 that we'll do on our next episode. But I think that one really picks up the story in the same way, because when the game was released, episode Part 1 and Part 2 came out on the same day. So they did a double episode release kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I suspect that these stories are probably more connected than, like, every Walking Dead episode's connected. But I imagine these ones being Part 1 and Part 2 of a name, and that they came out on the same day. I imagine they must occur within the same time frame, or, whatever.
Yep. A day or two.
Right.
Yeah.
So from here, we'll just move on, though, to some general thoughts on the episode at large. One thing that I've got here is I like Javi. I thought he's a pretty good protagonist. We talked about his backstory being cool. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty interesting. And I think he's interesting in that he's not... he seems strong in that he knows who he is, but he's not like an asshole. Mm-hmm. He's pretty capable, but he's not like super capable.
Yeah, he's not like I'm trying to think of some like crazy buff action hero that can just do everything.
No, yeah, or even like he's not even like Joel or something from The Last of Us. Like he's not that, he's not like that level of capable.
Yep.
where Joel could be like a machine. Javi doesn't quite feel there, but he's also not like fucking Ben or something from The Walking Dead.
God, Ben sucked.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't suck. He's instead, I think, probably pretty comparable to Lee.
Yeah.
Maybe, actually. Because I feel like Lee was pretty capable, but he was still a regular guy who wasn't like above and beyond fighter or something. Like he was good. He made it work.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that with Javi. And I think that's pretty cool. And his story is interesting. This is like learning about his family dynamics, I think, is going to be fun as this game goes with... like that he clearly like disappointed his family, and I guess finding out that he got kicked out of pro baseball, like
dude's a failure.
that's gotta suck, because I imagine that there was probably a thought of like Javi's changing this family's like livelihood.
Yeah, he's gonna make a lot of money and provide for the whole family essentially.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the vibe he might have, and then instead he like wasted it being selfish.
Yeah.
So
by making less money gambling than he would have probably made playing baseball.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck?
Yeah, not great. So I thought that's cool. I think he's interesting, and I hope that more of that stuff unpacks as we go.
Yeah, I do like him a lot too. I'd forgotten like most of what happens in this episode, and now even going forward, trying to think about okay, what's episode, or what's part 2, what's episode 3, what's I don't really remember a lot of it, so it's kind of like almost like playing it for the first time. So yeah, I think Javi's great. I like him a lot more than I ever remember liking him, because I think like we had mentioned in the beginning, I think I just wanted to play as Clementine, but now it's not expecting to. I'm like, this Javi's pretty cool. Like, I would probably play another game with him as the main character if they made one. I wouldn't be pissed about that.
Yeah, that's how I feel going into this too. It's like same thing. I don't remember almost anything from before, so it does feel like this is playing a new game in a lot of ways. And yeah, so far with one episode of Javi, I'm looking forward to playing the rest of the season with him. And yeah, if they wanted to make more stories with him, I'd probably be into that too.
Yeah.
Assuming that this season goes well, which
yeah,
I don't
remember.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to think it will because of this perspective of cool. Javi's a guy and he's got a story, and we get to do that. Like. And enjoy it for what it is, kind of thing. So I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, I think too. You had mentioned like the family drama, whatever. I feel like that's gonna be a big theme. With like Kate flirting with you, with Mariana getting shot in the head. That's like fucking crazy. And then with Gabe being a little angsty teen, preteen, something like. Right. It'll be really interesting. And with Kate being shot now too, like I feel like it's gonna get crazy, and I don't remember any of it. But that's an assumption, not trying to spoil anything. I literally don't remember. No, yeah. So I assume it's gonna be kind of nuts.
No, yeah, I think so too. I mean, like, especially like, it's like super traumatic that they just saw Mariana get shot in front of everyone.
Yeah, like a 10-year-old girl, like that was a really good kid, just blasted in the head.
Right, and wasn't doing anything like that.
Yeah, extra picked up her headphones, was happy, excited, and then just gets shot. Like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, that was such a drop for me, the player, but then for their family too. That like,
just like what?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder. This wasn't a thing I thought, but I guess I hope that for me, Javi and Clem are able to kill all those bandits, and we can take Mariana's body somewhere to bury it. Yeah, I hope that I get that option with that, and I guess you do too. But ultimately, I hope it works out that way, because like if you just have to leave her body in the junkyard, that sucks.
Yeah, I wonder if in your playthrough you won't get that option, but since I got to leave, I get it.
To come back?
No, to like get her body or something.
Oh, that I might get the option because I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so, because like that feels shitty to just leave her. Like, but also that sucked before that, because I was like, okay, she's my favorite member of the family, and then she got blasted.
Yeah, they probably did that on purpose. They're like, we're gonna make her awesome and then kill her.
I think so too.
Fuck you, Walking Dead, Telltale.
To make it brutal. And I thought good in your like, I feel like peak Walking Dead is when characters get killed and you don't know what can happen. Yeah. And this one definitely, you did feel that vulnerability because you don't know any of these people. Yeah. So really, like, her getting killed made me feel like everyone was on notice.
Yeah, and then Kate, like...
And then Kate got shot.
She got shot, like, that's not good. She could die.
Right, it's not like she's just going to rub some dirt on it at Prescott and be fine.
Yeah, she got fucking shot in the side. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Pretty serious. It's not like she got grazed in the arm or something.
Right.
Pretty bad.
Right, yeah, it's like a legitimate wound.
Yep, legitimate wound. Yes.
Yeah, so kind of wild, but all in all, though, yeah, I definitely enjoyed this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like one thing, too, there's a lot of crazy shit happened. Like, it started out crazy with the dad dying and then coming back, and then fucking 2 family members getting bit right then. We're like, fuck. Then it jumps forward 4 years later, and like, well, we haven't seen that car in a long time, presumably they're dead. Fucking Hector got, bet he was in our car, like, he's dead. And then all of a sudden, the...
Mariana.
Yeah, Mariana gets shot, Kate gets shot, and you're like, this is kind of crazy. Like, there's a lot of back-to-back-to-back things. A lot happened in this episode, I feel like.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. They introduced Clem again. Like, there's just a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was better than I remembered it being, which is good.
I agree. I felt like they came out swinging. Like, it felt like it was a good opener. They just went for it, which is cool.
Yeah, they sent it.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
Super about it. That's all I really got. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Cool. Well, that is Ties That Bind Part 1.
Part 1.
So next time we'll be back with Part 2. Continuing through this. If you've got other thoughts on this episode, or really any Telltale Walking Dead, love to talk about it. I'm super interested, excited to go through this series, and I don't know. I feel like it all feels a lot more recent now, playing the other seasons in the last, I think we played 2 last year and 1 the year before, but it feels a lot more recent, so I think this will be nice to feel kind of caught up and okay, we've done them all, and it'll be cool to have episodes on all of them.
Yeah, it will. All 4.
Yeah, have all the seasons covered, so that'd be cool. But yeah, if you'd like to listen to any of those episodes or other games, our website's TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed.com. That has a backlog of all of our episodes. We're also on wherever you get podcasts from, so you can check there too. Our Twitter's @StoryEverPod. Hit us up if you want to talk Walking Dead. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed. There, we do monthly topical bonus episodes that if you donate $1 per month or more if you like, that will get you access to those. So we've done things like we talked about our favorite Telltale Walking Dead characters, we ranked the Life is Strange episodes, talked about our favorite Pokemon, stuff like that.
Some TV show stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of things on there. I think we're around 25 episodes, so there's a bit back there now.
Oh, wow. I don't feel like we've done that many.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah, it's gone by, which is cool. So there's all that there if you're interested in that. And yeah, that is what we got, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.